That's right. We're back for another episode. Welcome back to Sippin With Sin, the podcast that's number one in the world for sniffling grown-ass men who got bitch smacked in the face by allergies. That's me. That's right. I know. It's awesome. Enjoy it. ASMR at its finest. But welcome back for another week, another episode. We'll be talking about all the good stuff and things because we're the number one podcast about stuff and things that are important to everybody. It's facts. It's science. I'm sick. Don't argue with me. Just talk to the scientist, okay? All right, but we got, I don't even know. We got stuff this week. We're troopers, and let's welcome back our esteemed colleague, the one and only Mr. Christian.
Hello, feels good to be back for another week. When I think about how long we've been doing this, it's kind of crazy to think about because it feels like we just started doing this like a month ago.
65 episodes in?
Crazy to say.
65 episodes. Somehow we have found enough dumb shit to talk about for 65 episodes. Enough rants.
Listeners, I gotta tell you guys, man. Listeners, so full disclosure, when we start to record an episode, there's literally like an overview. All right, we got this and this. Let's get it going. And typically, I always start talking about some shit that has nothing to do with what we're actually going to talk about. So Sin has to rein me back in so that we can
he was
record.
Already ranting this episode.
And today it happened again already about something that we're not even talking about. It's hilarious. So
spoiler, he's bitching about Halloween Ends. Of all things.
I am, man.
Good God.
I am. It's just you don't like something when you're completely removed from that thing and it's not even the season for you to be thinking about that thing, and then you think about it anyway, and you get pissed off. I just remembered that IGN gave Halloween Ends a fucking 6, and I was like, how did it get that high of a score? That movie was garbage. But I digress. We got other stuff to talk about, so we'll get into it.
That's right. I apologize ahead of time if I sniffle a lot. I hope you like sniffles because it happens. And if I cough, I'm sorry. Allergies suck. So, quick story about my allergies. Your boy was having a full-on busy weekend, lots of stuff with friends and family going on every day, and a lot of outside time, a lot of stuff like that, and all of us were fine. And I guess it was Sunday, a whole bunch of people were like, let's go ride around, yay, and Jeeps and stuff. And so I was in the back of a Jeep with dust hitting me and everything, and it was all cool. And I wake up Monday, I'm fine, Memorial Day, we go to the in-laws, and I was like, man, my throat's a little sore. It's kind of weird. Whatever. Well, then Tuesday, wake up and baby Sin's just something out of a horror movie with snot. Just a never-ending cesspool of snot just coming out of this boy's face. I'm like, what the hell is happening? And I'm like, my throat hurts. What the shit is up with this? And so we're like, are you sick? I was like, no, I think it's drainage. Oh, next day it's full on. Then I have snot. So we're both just a snot factory. And it's been like that all week. It's been just awful.
Sucks,
and my
man.
nose is red. I look
That sucks.
freaking Rudolph. I got sunburn. Life is just, yeah. So it happens.
Luckily, the excessive amount of melanin that I obtain keeps me a little bit safer from sunburns than you. So I can't say that
I'm pasty
sunburned.
as hell. And I got, I was like, I'm not even that hot outside. Usually I get hot. I'm like, oh, I might be burning. I wasn't even hot. I was not hot.
I might be burning.
No, look, I was not hot, and I had shorts on. I looked down, and the tops of my knees are red as hell, and I was like, oh, shit. I might have fucked up. And then I get to the vehicle later, and they're like, oh, you're fried. And my forehead's fried, my nose is fried, my arms are fried. I'm like, oh, shit. Mistakes were made.
So really quick. I know this is a tangent, and listeners, I apologize, but I need to know this. Run me through your typical sunscreen routine. When do you apply? When is it something
when I
that
get
needs
on?
to happen for sure?
Whenever I'm about to go, say I'm going on a boat or something, literally as we're either getting on the boat or I'm just getting the boat's either taking off or we're getting on the boat. But I was like,
so
what
about
outdoor? Kind of cloudy. Because
Mm-hmm.
we're on a boat, and I was like, it's a little cloudy. It ain't really that hot. I'll be okay. We'll be cool. Hell no, I got roasted. The sun was like, hey, dumbass, you look like damn Casper out here. It's time to roast you like a marshmallow.
That's hilarious. Because in my head, I'm thinking you're literally, so when you were telling me the story before you just said what you said now, I just picture you and your family just like literally in the backyard hanging out, and then you come in the house and you're just crispy.
Oh no.
Like the sun is not
No,
your
but then
friend, dude.
we went to like a thing, like our friend's daughter graduated high school. And so
Nice.
Friday night we went and watched her graduate. And then Saturday we went and did stuff with some friends that they had planned. Like they have a son, right? Same age as our son. So we went on like their boat with them and like spent like a couple hours. And we were going to go home, and then it was like, well, our friends, we told them we couldn't come to the graduation. We're like 15 minutes from it, like their little party. So we went, and they had like a shrimp bowl. And so we were over there. So I went from being burnt then to staying outside during a shrimp bowl, like bowl, and just getting roasted even more. Because your boy's not very bright, apparently.
Man,
I lost
that's
brain
really
cells.
funny.
By God, I had sunscreen on Sunday, though. That's right.
How was the missus? Did Miss Sin also
she's
get
got
toasty?
like that Cajun blood. So, literally, if she gets red just a tiny bit, like she'll go, oh, I got a little sun. The next day it's brown. I'm like, what the? Meanwhile, I'm over here like putting like aloe all over me because I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah, you got that Irish skin, bro.
Yeah,
that
I got
shit is
pasty as
just bacon.
shit. Look like
That's
damn
hilarious.
Casper the burnt fucking ghost out here. It just sucked. This is what happens when you get burnt and you get allergies, sinus sickness. You're just a bitter old man, worse than normal.
That's really funny, man. All right.
All right, this
We can
episode's
get back
already
on
started
track.
bad. So, listeners, I hope you're enjoying this. This is probably just going to be me and like being a grumpy old man this whole damn episode. I'm already mad. We're not even on any topics.
I love it, man. That's so funny to me. I love to hear stories.
Let's get back on track. So what we like to do is we like to start by talking about what we've been watching, reading, listening to, or playing this past week. And full disclosure, I have watched like Hotel Transylvania more times than I can count. I'm reciting it. But we'll let Christian. Well, I mean, I guess I could start. Or no, what do you want to start? No matter. I have less.
I'll go ahead and start. Go ahead.
So I've played. Have I played anything? I've played. Well, no, we're not gonna start playing. Okay, I watched a movie. There we go. We're gonna start with a movie. I did watch a movie. I watched it the other night during my sickness. And that will be White Man Can't Jump. It's a Hulu original, I believe. Right, Christian?
It's a Hulu original remake. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Hulu original now. It's not like a theatric release that I know of. I believe it's just like a. But yes, it is a remake of 1992. Yeah. Movie White Man Can't Jump, starring Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes. This one stars Jack Harlow and what was it again? Cinqua Walls. I thought for what it was. Also, it has Lance Reddick in it. By the way, R.I.P. Lance Reddick. Has him in it. I thought for what it was funny. Jack Harlow, was all right. Like, it was pretty funny. It was goofy.
My throat has been itching, so.
What was that?
What?
Something just played. Someone was just talking.
Don't be putting ghosts in my ears now.
I mean, do you got something playing? Because something literally just went like.
No, I mean I have my laptop which I'm using and my computer behind me is on, but there's
I'm
nothing
just
playing
played. You got them haunts up in your damn house?
Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Don't put that juju.
Don't you put that evil on me.
Man, that was kind of weird. I don't know what that was. I'm kind of curious. I definitely am going to listen to this back and try to figure out what the hell that was, because it just started talking. It was some woman that was like,
what did it say?
I don't know. That's what it threw me off. I was like, what the hell was that?
I don't want any strange ghost women behind me while I'm recording.
You get a ghost.
You're going to watch the video back?
I'm heading for the hill.
If you see a ghost woman behind me, you let me know immediately so I can get the fuck out of here, dude.
Okay, we went off rails thanks to
all right.
Ghost Vira back there at Christian's house. The movie is what it is. It got a 4.8 out of 10. It's nothing like. I wouldn't even say it's a must watch. If you're bored, you like the first one, and you wanted to see like same concept type of movie, like con artist, hustling, basketball kind of thing, watch it. Like, it is what it is. It was, will I watch it again?
Movie?
Huh?
Was it long, or was it like a short watch, easy to watch?
It is. How long is it? Hour and 41. It's a little longer than it probably needed to be. But they try to. I don't really remember why. I need to watch the original because I don't fully remember. Do you remember much about it? I know Woody Harrelson's a con artist.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the original with Woody and Wesley Snipes,
Was
and I
Wesley
did
Snipes a
enjoy it.
former basketball player or something that was like hurt or something like that? Or not hurt, but
Yeah,
got in trouble?
yeah,
So same concept.
and then
Jack Harlow's
yeah,
a
Woody Harrelson
con
would come
artist.
in and like con him,
Yeah.
pretend to not be able to play, and then make money off of winning the games. And they would go to different
Yeah.
parks and stuff and do that to people to win money. And I don't remember the ending of it too well because, like, full disclosure, I haven't watched the original in like, I don't know, over a decade. It's
been
been
a
like
long time.
15 maybe 20 years since I watched the original at this point. But I do remember watching when I was younger and enjoying it. And I remember Woody character couldn't make like really nice jump shots and layups. And there was one scene where he was really pissed off, and Wesley Snipes was like, "Just go ahead and pump up your shoes," because when you had the I forget what that brand of shoe is called. You could like they had
Was it
the button
Reebok?
that you could press on it that would pump you up. I don't think it was Reeboks. They were like Air Maxes. I can't remember, but he would like
it
he was
wasn't
like pushing
Nike.
them up so that he could play basketball.
Pump up shoes brand.
In the 80s.
Oh no. From
I just
Reebok.
want to say
It's
kangaroos
Reebok
right
pumps.
now. Was it?
Yeah.
Was it? I didn't realize it was
Yo,
Reebok. But yeah, man, those pumps.
Hey, these things actually kind of slap still. I would potentially wear them. Dude, this is like white with teal and orange and black.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
gonna have
from
to
the
look it up
90s.
now myself.
Reebok pumps. Nike had
Oh,
like the
I
old
thought they were
air
like
cushion
89.
thing. You remember that? Like the big ass air sole.
Mm-hmm.
Remember them having
I
those?
do remember those.
And then the shocks. The shocks were a thing.
Remember the shocks too.
Okay, so I wouldn't say this movie's boo-boo shoes, but I wouldn't say this is like a must-watch. It's like meh. It gets a meh. It is what it is. And it's about what I expected. I wasn't expecting anything like crazy. Honestly, Jack Harlow, I thought, did better than I expected him to.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, like,
that's cool to hear.
He's not like, I wouldn't say he's like Lady Gaga impressed me with her acting that I did not expect.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like super cringy, like, oh my God, this is Paris Hilton awful kind of stuff.
Oh God.
Yeah, so like it was actually believable. Like I could see him being that person. Like it kind of fit him, and even like some of the mannerisms and stuff. Like it wasn't terrible, but it's not the best thing I've seen. You know, so yeah.
So you just said something that sparked a memory real quick. So you mentioned Paris Hilton, and did you?
I mean, the first thing I think
like
of is House of Wax with her, and just
of course,
Jesus.
Did you see the interview that she came out with like not too long ago at the time of this recording about how she talks as like a character? Like, yeah, I don't actually talk like that. I'm not actually that dumb. I just played that, as a character and blah, blah, blah. And I was thinking to myself, did anybody think that was real to begin with? Like, we're all smart enough to know that Paris Hilton was literally just playing a caricature of herself this entire time to make more money, right? Like I figured we all knew that. So when she came out with this interview and people are like, oh my God, she's actually not a dumb blonde. She's actually not this. She's actually not that. I was like, who the fuck thought that was true? Like there was no way that she would be in the public eye that much, making that much, aside from her like family being fucking loaded. But like her herself, there's no way that she would have been in the things that she was in if she was that fucking stupid all the time. So I was amazed personally at the amount of people that thought that all of that was, they thought that was miraculous. Like, oh my God, she's actually kind of educated. Oh my God, she doesn't talk like that. And I was just like, bro, the fact that you thought this was real to begin with says a lot about you, and stop it. Get some help. That's how I felt. Well, yeah, did you see that interview or just like little clips?
I haven't followed anything on Paris Hilton in forever.
Like I don't follow her at all because like I literally don't give a fuck about Paris Hilton. But a clip of that came up on like TikTok or Instagram, something like that, and it was a clip of her interview talking about how she isn't stupid, and I was just like, cool.
Speaking of TikTok, can I go on a little rant?
Absolutely.
So we posted, time recording this, I guess it was last week or something. We had a short, no, not a short, a TikTok, whatever, from the podcast, go live. and it was about you talking about Pennywise, a clown,
Okay.
a clown, listeners, a clown, okay. And I commented for mine just a simple clown emoji, and I got a damn strike for community violation.
What?
And I was like,
What?
I appealed it. Like, I literally read the thing. It's talking about Pennywise, and I comment a clown, and they appeal. Like, I sent an appeal, and then they gave me a strike anyways, and were like, no. I was like, are you done?
I didn't know that. That's insane.
I'm like,
what?
We're talking about a clown, and I simply sent an emoji about a damn clown, and I'm in trouble. I'm like, whatever.
Dude, somebody's out to get you, dog.
No, I was like,
that's
that is the
hilarious. I'm
dumbest
sorry
shit.
that happened.
Okay.
Actually, I saw the comment. That's crazy. That's crazy.
All right, so besides that, for me this week, I have played, time recording this, Diablo Early Access dropped yesterday on, dropped yesterday around like 6 p.m. So I have a few thoughts. First off, we'll talk about it a little bit, but Diablo, when they lifted the, what am I trying to say? What's the thing? Not disclosure.
The embargo?
Thank you, God. My brain is not working. Yes, when they lifted the embargo, Diablo was getting glowing reviews. We'll discuss this a little more in a little bit. Getting really good reviews, which I played the beta. I kind of already expected it because I was happy with the beta and I liked the direction they were going, I thought. But I've got to play a little bit, a few hours. Not a lot because I feel like deep fried ass. But I have made a necromancer and a druid, and I've been playing them, and dude, the game is freaking awesome. So far, it's...
Which one do you like more?
Necromancer.
Okay.
For sure. Right now, I heard druid's going to be really good in-game. But so far, I really like it. I really enjoyed it. And I have to say, so in our current day and age, it is extremely rare at this point in time that a AAA game, or any game for that matter, launches pretty smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, servers crash, or there's crazy bugs, or there's always something happening. So, I've been around Blizzard long enough. You know, I've sat in Overwatch queues. I've sat in WoW queues. You know, different games. I was like, all right, so it's going to be Queue Simulator for the first day. So this is early access. You had to pay extra to get it. The regular edition comes out the 6th, so a few days from now. I'm dying. Cordyceps. So
No.
it may be a different story then once the floodgates fully open, but there's a ton of people playing it right now. And I was like, there's still going to be a queue. They're probably going to be ramping the servers. Like, they're probably not going to have many for early access. Like, I fully expected the worst. Christian, this game launched. First off, it launched at like 5:51 or something. It was like, it's up. And I was like, okay. Maybe you get in quick and you can be in. I got in like immediately and I was like, okay. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to test it. I'm curious how bad the queue is. Like, I made my characters real quick. I was kind of waiting on the misses. I logged out. I logged back in. There was no queue. There was no issues. I logged in on PC. I logged in on PlayStation. I had no issues. My characters were there. Everything worked perfectly. The only issue, I think some people had like a licensing issue on PlayStation. I don't know how long that lasted. I didn't run into it myself. But I was like, God dang. Like, I saw no one complaining about, other than the PlayStation licensing issue, which I think they fixed in like an hour or two. There was no queue server time. Like, people were in playing. People were running through the game. Now, it could change Tuesday when the 6th, when everyone else is allowed to get in too. And, you know, the servers get overrun probably quickly. But I haven't seen a launch like this in a very, very long time. Like, usually even early access, I feel like there's a wait time and there's issues and hiccups. But it ran really good, which makes me happy. Makes me think that all those like betas and server slams and everything they did were actually, they got prepared for the worst.
I hope so, man. Because like games like that, typically, like you were just saying, they have so many issues on launch that you don't really get to experience the actual game until like, you know, late week 1.
Yeah, it's like, you pretty much chalk up the first week to you're not gonna really get to play. If you get to play, you'll get a little bit and you'll get kicked or something will happen. Like, and I kind of was already like prepared. And it's probably bad that we're molded, I guess, or like we've kind of adjusted this. So like we expect the worst. But whenever everything was working so far, I'm like, damn, what is this life? Like, the game's working on launch? We're playing? I mean, and also, this is a big, like I said, AAA title. Diablo is a franchise that a lot of people want to play. Like, it's got a huge fan base. So there's a lot of players coming in. I looked earlier, and there was like 600,000 people watching on Twitch. I mean, there's a lot of people. So, I mean, it's been good, though. I like it. I'll have more thoughts next week as I get more time to play, for sure. I think Lilith looks freaking awesome. All the cutscenes I see with her, I'm all for it. Like, she looks badass.
Good to hear.
Do you have anything? Well, I guess we'll discuss more Diablo stuff here momentarily. But my final announcement, as you can tell, let me show my tatas for a minute. Your boy,
viewers, not the
time of this podcast coming out, has officially finally announced, I've been teasing this for weeks, finally announced I am partnered with gfuel. So this has been something that's been in the works for a while. It's pretty crazy to think. It's not something I would have ever thought probably would have happened or would have expected. But they reached out to me and wanted to work with me, and I happily have decided to work with them. And so far, it's been really, really awesome, as you can tell from these lovely flavors. Today, let me tell you what we're sipping upon. For those not watching YouTube, we have a lovely shaker cup full of Plasma Energy, which is their Dead Space formula. It's strawberry candy. So we're sipping upon that, trying to help sick people get through podcasts. You know, because it gives you energy and focus and all that stuff. And it has like pretty much 0 calories and no sugar. Just saying.
What's your favorite flavor right now?
Favorite flavor right now?
Mm-hmm.
So here's a couple that I have. I have Plasma Energy, which is strawberry candy. If you're watching on YouTube, here you go. I have Clickbait, which is cherry pomegranate, I think.
Ooh.
I have Hype Sauce, which is raspberry lemonade, which is the Mrs. favorite flavor.
That sounds fantastic.
And then I have Berry Bomb, which I can't remember what all's in it. It's like, I think blueberry and something else. I don't remember. But it's like, if anybody ever had Phaseberry a long time ago, which I can't remember what was in it, it's like a remaster of that. Clickbait's up there. Berry Bomb's, honestly, all three are really good. If I had to pick one off the top of my head right now, I might go Clickbait. Maybe.
Okay.
Clickbait solid.
That's good to know. Like, I
is really good, though.
Some...
I do really like it. But yeah, I'm happy to be partnered with them. I'm super excited. They have a lot of stuff in the works. It's really cool. We'll be doing giveaways. And of course you can use code Sinister if you want to go get yourself some G Fuel, some tubs, some cans, all that good stuff, for at least 20% off your order. Just saying.
Hell yeah. I might actually do that tonight. I need some of this for the new job I'm working.
So, the cans, I had never had a can until after, I got with them. They gave me some cans. The cans slap, bro. They're so good. Ooh. Ice cold.
I'm gonna want that.
It's so good.
I'm gonna want that. So I'm gonna use that code. Is it just the website?
Yeah.
gfuel/Sinister. Heck, absolutely.
Well, yeah,
absolutely.
you just G Fuel, and then you can type in my code, or I'll have a referral link on my stream too. It'll be like a little banner. So at the time of this recording coming out, there's already been the announcement videos dropped, all kinds of stuff. But there's some fun stuff in the works, stuff I can't talk about. Like I said, we're gonna be doing some giveaways. I'm really stoked to work with them. They've been the guy that I'm working with is absolutely awesome. He's a big horror fan, so that's super cool. So me and him like nerd out and talk about horror stuff all the time.
As it should be in the world.
Yeah,
I love
so it's been really good. I'm really, really happy to do that. So you'll see me drinking some G Fuel, and he even sent me like this sweet Frankenstein shaker cup, which is literally like Christian's color scheme. I swear this is like Christian scheme.
It really is. Greens and purples, absolutely.
Lime green.
I mean, as you can see, I'm rocking a faculty shirt now, and there's a lot of green in it.
That's a movie I haven't seen
for the
forever.
Viewers. You can see that. But yeah, man, faculty for the listeners. Faculty is.
Uh-oh. The ghost got Christian. Oh no, it finally happened. I'm sorry, listeners, if I keep coughing and sniffling and sound congested. It is what it is. I don't know. Who gets freaking sick at the start of June? Like, how does that happen? Memorial Day weekend, who gets a freaking, like, cold or sinus? Apparently this guy. But yeah, so G Fuel, super excited about it. more flavors coming, more stuff coming. I definitely am gonna do like I'm gonna be doing some reviews of different flavors. We'll talk about it. I'm also open to doing mixtures. So what I mean by that is, say you're like, what would hype sauce and clickbait taste like together if I did like half and half of those? I think that'd be fun to do, to like do mixtures and see what they taste like and like do kind of a review. So I'm gonna do content around that also, and some other fun stuff we got planned for it. So it should be a good time. But yeah, we'll be doing stuff on Kick involving G Fuel, and then I'll be doing stuff around the social medias involving G Fuel and stuff, and then we'll be obviously drinking it over here on the podcast and all that stuff. Helps sick people get through podcasts. Delicious. Strawberry candy is actually pretty good. I thought it might be too sweet, but it's actually pretty good. It's not as sweet as I thought it'd be, which is good because I don't want anything like too sweet. Christian?
So jumping right back
Ghost get
into
you?
what I was saying. Dude, Ghost got me, man.
That's
Ghost
what I
got
said. I was
me.
like, Ghost got him. It's over.
Jumping right back into what I was saying, The Faculty is definitely one of those '90s films that I watch that just takes me right back to the '90s, takes me right back to that feeling of being a kid again. And yeah, I love it, man. Faculty, one of my favorite horror movies of all time. Is it scary? No. Is it a good time? Absolutely. Guaranteed to jack you up. But yeah, man. So I just wanted to say that. And yeah, you definitely that shaker is my color scheme in its entirety. So when I'm ready to use this code Sinister to hop on gfuel.com and get me some swag, I'm definitely gonna look for something with green.
I was telling him while you were conversing with the Ghost, I'm gonna do like flavor reviews, I think, and post some content around that. And then I'm also gonna take like suggestions.
That'd be awesome.
Like, say you're like, what would hype sauce like the raspberry lemonade and clickbait cherry pomegranate taste like if you did half and half?
Oh,
I think that would be fun,
Be down
and
to see
maybe make
those.
some crazy drinks. So I'm gonna
Should
plan some
definitely
fun
make
stuff
some
around it as
TikToks
well as
with
some
that
other
material.
things. All right, so that's
So what
pretty
else
much.
you been doing this week?
Do
Is that
what?
it? Is that all you've been doing this week?
I mean, that was a lot. I feel like that was a lot of nothing, actually.
It was.
A lot of nothing. I've been
I
getting.
guess I'll jump into what I've been doing.
Yeah, you go. You do you, boo boo.
It's been a super busy week for me. I just started some new stuff in real life, new job and all that, and I've been really busy with that. So I've time to watch a couple of episodes of Reacher. I think I talked about that last episode. The show is good. The show continues to be good. I really love Alan Richson's character, Reacher. He plays the character perfectly. You believe him when he's doing things. I like the side characters a lot as well. They bring life to the world that we're living in, because Reacher is so stoic, and matter of fact. So when you get other characters that question things and do things more so on the lines of how people, it feels really good. So the dynamics are great. I can't wait to get to the end of the season, to see how it all wraps up. And then obviously we got announced season 2 that's done filming, and that should be coming out at some point this summer, which also reminds me that I'm super excited for the new season of The Boys to come out on Amazon as well. Aside from that, I'm almost done reading a book. I think I showed you guys the last episode. I'm at the tail end of the book, y'all. I've only got so much of it left, but I'm reading Seed by Anya Alborn, sorry. And I love this book so much. So I really want to see how it's going to end, because the ending is going to one of those books where the ending's going to be everything, right? You have all this build up, you've met all your characters, you have the family dynamic, the problem that's happening, and now we have the landing. So if the ending is landed well in this is going to be one of my favorite books. So I will let you guys know on our next episode whether or not this should be in your collection. Right now, if I had to tell you right now to get this or not, I would say yes. But like I said, I want to give you guys honest reviews. So I'll know for sure once I actually finish that book. And that there's some things that we're going to talk about here a little bit later, but I also started catching up on an anime. I used to watch this anime season. I watched it week to week. I read the entirety of the manga. I started catching up on Demon Slayer. And Demon Slayer is absolutely one of those animes that is elevated by the action, the colors. The art style is simple but very clean in the manga, and that is elevated so much so in the anime. So I recommend Demon Slayer for people who already watch anime. Obviously, that's something that's probably on your list, and like I'm so far behind. But people like Yusin who don't watch a whole lot of anime, it's definitely something that I think that you would be into. Um, it hooks you on the first episode. Like you immediately you get into it. You meet the characters, you see what's going on, kind of, and then you start getting into what the problem of this is going to be, what the crux of the series is going to be, and then you start expanding until you get to where I am now in the show. But definitely check it out if you haven't. I know that the first 2 seasons are streaming on, or maybe 3 seasons. Sorry, streaming on Netflix. If you have that, obviously Crunchyroll is where you get everything. Um, and if you have other ways to watch it, like Funimation, what have you, you can watch it there. But definitely something you should be checking out, Sin. I would love to hear your opinion on this anime, and I would
How
love to
many
hear what
seasons
Mrs.
is
Sin
there?
has to say about it as well. I think altogether there are 4 seasons, but like I said, the first 3 seasons are on Netflix,
They're probably
and
like
season
80
two is
episodes a
very
season, aren't
short.
they?
No, the first season is the longest one. It has like 20. I want to say 24 episodes.
30
They're
minute
like 20 minutes.
episodes?
They're like
Or an
24
hour?
minutes. Yeah, they're short. They're not very long. Season 2, very, very, very short season because it's technically a movie that they broke up into episodes. So you can just watch the movie. You don't have to watch the season itself. The movie is like, I want to say 2 hours long. But yeah, man, I definitely watch it. It's something that you would like. Well, like I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass. Like I really think that you would enjoy Demon Slayer. So make sure that you take 30 minutes, watch the first episode with Mrs. Sin, and let me know what you think.
Okay. Demon Slayer.
And then aside from that, I rewatched one of the greatest movies of all time, one of my personal favorites. I rewatched the original Blade recently, and damn it, Blade is one of those movies that no matter what's going on in my life, I get fucking hyped, bro.
What?
Like I don't know how
Okay, first
you
thing
feel
comes to
about
your
it, but
mind when
Blade is
when
fantastic.
you think of Blade 1. Very first thing that pops in your mind.
First thing that pops in my head when I think of Blade 1 is the fucking blood rave. Every
Aw,
time.
I'm
That's the first
disappointed
thing I
in
think
you.
of.
That's a really good scene, but I'm disappointed.
What do you think of?
Some motherfucker always trying to ice skate uphill.
I knew you were gonna say that because that's the second thing. That's the second thing I think
every
of.
time I think of Blade 1, I think of Wesley Snipes saying that. Like every time.
Oh, some
The blood
motherfuckers
rave
always
makes you
try to
think
ice
of
skate uphill.
what was it? Metallica's like they did like an electronic album or something, and
remember
I
that
think
one.
one or two of the songs were like in the blood rave. It was like a weird, I don't know. I had it somewhere at one point because I was like, that's crazy. But it was like a dancey rave type mixture of one of their things.
I feel like if you ask most people what the first thing they think of when they think of the first Blade film, they're gonna say the blood rave because it's iconic, dude. It's amazing. It's first of all, it's a rave that the whole crux of the thing is that it's raining blood on everyone. And Blade shows up, and I don't know if you noticed this, but there is not a drop of blood on this man pretty much the entire movie. It's fantastic. Love all the action. I love the crazy sound effects. I love the cheesy special effects and the bad CGI. I love all of it. I love Wesley Snipes chewing up the fucking scenery. Chris Christopherson. I love all of it, man.
So probably
It's so
unpopular opinion. I like all 3
Mhm.
Blade movies. I really do. I could watch all 3.
I like all 3 as well.
I like Trinity,
obviously-
which everyone shits on. I actually like Trinity. I like Ryan Reynolds. I even like Triple H's not great acting. I like what he is in it, just the meathead vampire. I personally really like that movie. I like Dracula.
I like Blade Trinity. It's definitely not my favorite.
Or Drake.
Of the
No,
three.
the first one's gonna be my favorite by far. The second one's cool too
Yeah,
because
the first one is fantastic.
shit, like the Nosferatu style dude. What the fuck? What is
Yeah.
his?
I don't remember his name.
I
to
can't
be
remember
honest
his name
with you.
either. No, but honestly, that trilogy is fantastic. I love the Blade trilogy. Even to this day, give me all the cheesiness of it. I'll watch it happily.
Yeah, the first one it just goes so fucking hard. It had no right to be that good of a movie.
Do you want to
And
hear a
people
fun
sleep
story
on Blade.
about Blade?
Yeah, let me give you a fun story about Blade real quick before you give me one. So the thing that you think of, some motherfuckers always trying to ice skate uphill. That's actually an ad lib line that Wesley Snipes said, and they kept it in the movie because it was funny as shit.
It's fantastic. That's such a great line.
Dude, he said that. He said that like while they were rehearsing, and the director was like, "Hold on," and wrote it into the script because he thought it was hilarious and he wanted other people to hear it. So that's why that's in the movie.
Okay. Interesting.
And Wesley Snipes actually agreed to be Blade because here's the thing. Wesley Snipes wanted to be Black Panther way back in the 90s, but Hollywood was like, America's not ready for a Black Panther movie, and we're also not ready to have a Black Panther movie, but you can be Blade. And Wesley Snipes was like, first of all, I don't know who the fuck Blade is, and second of all, I'm not going to play the character unless he wears a leather suit and gets to do kung fu. And they were like, joke's on you. That's all you have to do in this movie. And he signed on right then and there. That's why he is Blade, because he wanted to wear a leather suit and do action. So,
and I get to be a black vampire? Yeah. Where do I sign?
Where do I sign? Give me the dotted line now.
Okay.
But yeah, so, man.
Way back when movie stores were a thing, some listeners probably have no clue what the hell we're talking about. But this used to be the thing to do on, like, for me personally and my family, like Friday nights. We would go, I'd usually rent a video game for the weekend. We may rent like a couple movies. We watch movies. I play video games all weekend. That's what we would do. Parenting, I guess, in back then. Whatever. I loved it, personally, going and browsing through the movie stores. But, so, around the time we went to when Blade come out, we went to go pick a movie. And me and my stepdad were going around. And I guess they come out, I don't know how close they were in release, but another movie come out called Sling Blade. Definitely not Blade. Yeah. So we rented Blade, which I was like, hell yeah, and I was all into it, loved it. And then he was like, this is not what I thought it was. So then we got Sling Blade, and he was like, this is what I thought we were renting. I was like, oh shit, they're way the hell off.
Big That's time. Actually fucking hilarious.
Big time off. You don't know what Sling Blade is? Sling Blade is like
whole different movie with Billy Bob, right?
Billy Bob Thornton, as a mentally, I don't know, disabled guy. I don't know really how to describe it, but it's like, dude, there's like a lot of iconic lines in that movie. Ain't got no gas in it. Like he's like this real southern sounding guy. I want a mustard and biscuit. Might want what's number 911. I just killed that man.
Actually,
it was so that he thought Blade was Sling Blade, and I was like, "Wow, you really dropped."
You picked up the wrong fucking movie, and you were like going ham. With
I was
Blade.
so excited. We watched Blade, and I was like, "Hell yes, vampires and shit!" I was so excited.
Blade was like one of the first vampire movies that I ever watched and fell in love with. That didn't have Dracula.
Didn't that start a trend of like vampire movies coming out? Didn't Blade kind of set off?
In the 90s, yeah. It started a trend of everything. So another fun fact, dude.
Like, Blade would be the first Marvel movie, right? Technically.
Yeah. Blade is one of the main reasons why we got Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Because when they already made Blade and that was coming out, and they had the plans to make a Spider-Man film, but once they found out that they could make money, they put more money into the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, and then we got that. Because when that was coming out, the story was different. They had a whole lot of changes that were going to be into it. The very first teaser trailer to the movie actually had him webbing up a helicopter in between the Twin Towers. But then 9/11 happened, so they had to pull that fucking trailer, and they changed everything about it. So, yeah, man, it was a lot of stuff happening when those movies were coming out. But Blade, like I said, did so well and had such a good fan base following that's why we got the Spider-Man movies that we got with Tobey Maguire, and that's why they did so well, because Blade started it all, bro. It was the pioneer for all of that.
If you haven't watched Blade, go watch Blade. Go watch the trilogy.
If you haven't watched Blade, like, obviously you're dead, because come on, Blade's fucking fantastic. Actually, so another funny story about Blade is my fiance actually showed her Blade for the first time like 2 years ago, and she's not a big fan of it. And she was like, here's the thing. I'm watching Blade now as like a grown ass adult, like a full adult, right? But you watched Blade when you were a kid, and you have all this nostalgia and stuff for it, so it's different. And I was like, I want to agree with you, but I can't because Blade is everything. And so it's really funny. That's one of the things that we talk about all the time. She talks about how much I love Blade and how she thinks it's just okay, but it's not really her jam. And I'm just like, you got to watch it again. I don't. I was like, maybe you weren't in the right mindset. Maybe we talked about it too much before you watched it. But Blade is like one of the best movies of all time. But yeah, we got to watch Blade again.
All right. Well, I guess it's time we go to. We don't have a lot of meat and potatoes. It's a very light meal today. You got a lot of appetizer. You got a lot of foreplay and not a lot of. Yeah.
I will say that at the time of this recording, I actually have to. I have some stuff to do right after we record, of course. But I am fully planning to go see the new Spider-Verse movie tonight. So Cross the Spider-Verse.
What's the reviews for it? Have you seen? I haven't seen reviews.
Yeah, I've actually looked into the reviews for that, and I have one more thing to talk about, which I'll actually make that our meat and potatoes, to be honest. But yeah, the reviews for Spider-Man have been. Yeah, seriously. The reviews for Spider-Man Across Spider-Verse have been fantastic. I know that IGN gave it an 8, but that's the lowest review that I've seen it get. It's been getting nothing but 9s and 10s everywhere else. And somebody that I actually trust their opinion a lot gave me a quick review of the film without ruining anything, and he said his favorite Spider-Man film of all time was Into the Spider-Verse. And now Into the Spider-Verse has competition for his favorite Spider-Man movie of all time. And I was like, that's really cool to hear because a lot of people still, myself included, like I love those Tobey Maguire Spider-Man films. Spider-Man 2, I think, is one of the best superhero movies of all time. But when you watch Into the Spider-Verse that came out in 2018, that movie's fantastic. Then you get to this one and everything's elevated the way that it needs to be elevated, and the story hits just as hard as the first one. He said that this is absolutely one of the best Spider-Man movie going experiences that he's ever had, and that he can't wait until I watch the film so that I can tell him my honest review on it as well. So I'm super excited. He didn't tell me anything about the plot. He didn't tell me anything about the main story beats. So I'm ready to go into this movie as naked as possible, if you will, and not know much of anything and get what I want to get out of it. So I'm super excited. I know the movie is a little on the longer side. I think it's like 2 hours and 20 minutes, I want to say is what it is, but apparently it doesn't fit, and I'll know that for sure in my honest review after I see the film tonight. But I can't wait. I'm super excited for it. And I'll tell you guys another reason why I'm so excited to watch this movie. I'll get more into when we get into our meat and potatoes, but I just read a comic that I really want to get into, and I saved it purposely for this because I have some thoughts. And the last couple of times that I talked about comics, I gave them scathing reviews. And this time, that's not the case. So we'll get into that here in just a second. But I know, Sin, you had a review that you wanted to get into as well. Is that correct?
I did what with who? I did who? What?
Did you have a review that you wanted to talk about that you wanted to get into as a part of our meat and potatoes?
Oh, Diablo.
Oh, I actually really want to hear reviews for Diablo and see what's up with that.
Diablo, the reviews, it has, like I said, when the embargo lifted, it got raving reviews. Let's see. IGN gave it a 9. I have seen nothing but great reviews, like pretty much perfect to one off on everything. Just kind of riding the coattails of IGN. They said Diablo 4 is a stunning sequel with near perfect in-game and progression design that makes it absolutely excruciating to put down.
Yeah, that's actually really cool to hear because the other game that's out this week that I want to play as well that we've talked about on the podcast before was Street Fighter 6. And that's also getting scathing reviews, and I can't wait to really put some time into that. So I fully plan to get that this weekend and start getting into it.
The one knock I've heard on Street Fighter 6, because it literally both games embargo lifted pretty much either the day
at the same time.
Yeah, it was really close, and both got damn near perfect reviews. The one knock
Yeah.
was, and I noticed it whenever I played World Tour mode, the
Mhm.
single player story where you kind of run around, you do stuff, and you level up your avatar and all that is cheesy as balls. Like,
Yeah.
but I kind of expected that just from that and how it is. Like, you can fight a refrigerator, I think, at one point. Like, there's just a bunch of cheesy stuff in it. But it is what it is. That's not all games are like NetherRealm. I know we praise NetherRealm all the time. Not all games story modes go as hard and detailed as NetherRealm does, with like their Injustices, their Mortal Kombats and stuff, right? And I'm assuming arcade will still be the normal Street Fighter. You'll get like an ending for each character probably, like for that saga. But the World Tour is ambitious, and I heard it's like 20-something hours long. So I don't know what the hell you're going to do. But they said it just kind of is kind of bland.
Well,
and they'll be like,
I
go
was
here
gonna
and get a
get into that
statue
too,
like
yeah.
across the world and stupid stuff like
Yeah,
that.
that's what makes it so long, like 20 hours, is because you're kind of doing like fetch quests for characters so that you can learn their moves and stuff.
Yeah, and you
right? And then you have
essentially
to level them
you're
up.
meeting the entire roster, I believe.
Yeah, these characters, you're learning all their moves, and you're kind of doing that thing. When you just spoke on NetherRealm, it kind of reminds me of Mortal Kombat, I think Armageddon, where you got to like build your own fatalities, and then the one before that where you're playing as like Shujinko, I think his name, and you would kind of learn other characters' moves, so that character just kind of knew a special move from all the other main characters on the roster. So it's kind of that thing, and they, it's really silly and goofy, and you can make super weird characters, which is the best part about it, is making characters you want to make and make as cool or as weird as you want them to look. But aside from that, I know that it is story is paper thin. All right, so I just wanted to run over the characters for Street Fighter 6 real quick. So I'm going to start it off with Cammy. I love to see that she returned to the game. She is a fan favorite. I also like Cammy as well. Brand new character coming in the mix, Lily. As soon as they dropped her character bio, I knew that was going to be a character I was going to try to learn as much as I could about when the game dropped. You got Zangief, of course. He's a fan favorite. I don't think you can have a Street Fighter game without having Zangief in it. Then you have JP, another new character, somebody that I don't think that I'll play a lot of, but I'm looking for fighting characters, players that play him. Then you got Marissa. Marissa is somebody that I am into. She is big. She is burly. She is a grappler. I cannot wait to learn this character. That's probably going to be one of my mains for sure. Then you got Manon in the game. I'll probably play around just to see what she plays like, but I don't know if I'll play her too much. I'll tell you another character I'm really excited about, a completely reworked DJ. Guys, if you haven't played Street Fighter, you still probably know who DJ is, and I can't wait to use the new version of him in this game. I'm super excited about that. And you got E Honda, of course. You can't have Street Fighter without E Honda. He's a fan favorite. Then you got Dalasim, another character that's coming in. I don't really play Dalasim, but I think he's cool. I've always thought he was cool. Blanca, another fan favorite. I'm probably going to play a few games with him because Blanca's just one of those characters that everybody uses every now and then. Then you got my personal favorite character and my absolute main, a beast, Ken. Ken's always going to be in the game. Ken Master is my favorite. Then you got Yuri, who's back in the game. Kimberly, another new character that I'm looking forward to trying. She's a new ninja. I love her character design, what she looks like, what her playstyle looks like. I'm super excited. Then you got Guile, of course. Love Guile. Chun-Li. Can't have a Street Fighter as well without Chun-Li. You got a new character, Jamie. Looks interesting. Don't know if I'll play him. You got Luke, of course. He's been in all of the promotional activity for this game. So we're going to see how he plays. I don't think he's going to be one of my favorites personally, though. And then you got Ryu, of course, the poster child for every single Street Fighter. And obviously, there are characters that they're going to release later on that you can get in those DLC packs that we talked about briefly. I'm super excited about this roster. I can't wait personally, like I said, to play Lily, Marissa, and Ken. Those are my three favorites already out the gate. But yeah, man, just wanted to quickly go over the characters for the game. And with
I know
that said,
Yuri
I'll
and
move.
Chun Li and Kim were the three that I really enjoyed playing on the last beta.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's good to hear.
I
And
like their
Kim's
style.
been my favorites.
So
I like hearing that. That makes me happy because I definitely want to play a Lily. But like I said, dude, Marissa is a beast, and I like grappling characters when they're made well. So I'm definitely gonna try to learn how to use her as much as possible.
Also, real quick, apologies. I know for those watching on YouTube, things look a little different on if you're listening to this audio, nothing really changed. Maybe a little cut. But, yeah, we had technical issues, so Christian's camera is not on now, thanks to the technical gremlins for messing things up. But we'll continue on with Christian's main topics.
Yeah, and the last thing that I wanted to talk about, y'all, I've been holding it in. I haven't talked about it online much. I've finished the latest arc of the Amazing Spider-Man, and that ended with issue 26. Now, this is still pretty new, so at the time of this recording, those of you who actually read comics may now know about this issue. But let me just talk about this. The art I don't really like. It's John Murata Jr. and John Murata Jr. Like, he's not my favorite artist personally. I don't really like how everybody's face looks really hard and scrunched up all the time. It kind of looks like he just draws a bunch of boxes and then puts clothes on top of the boxes and then eyes on it. So everybody looks really weird and jagged. It worked for Kick-Ass, but it doesn't necessarily work for Spider-Man, in my opinion. With that said, not wanting to shit on the art because JR is an iconic artist, the writing for Peter Parker's Spider-Man is absolute garbage. This is one of the worst Spider-Man arcs I think I've ever read in Spider-Man comics. And I'm one of those people who read One More Day. And for those of you who know what that is, it was another terrible story. It's the one where I think Peter makes a deal with Mephisto in order to keep Aunt May alive, but it erases his entire history with Mary Jane and blah 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 blah. Like, all of that's terrible. With this, it's kind of the same thing. Like, Mary Jane isn't with Peter; she's with another guy. They've got 2 kids. We don't know where these kids come from. Like, nothing adds up. Peter's like super hung up on Mary Jane, but like in the worst way. He works with Norman Osborn, who's the Golden Goblin or Gold Glider, I believe. Like, so many things are happening, and like, this story is just not fun to read. And then you get to the ending of it, Kamala Khan's in it. I'm going to spoil it. Those of you who haven't read this, so I'm going to apologize in advance for this massive spoiler. But this issue culminates in Mary Jane getting impaled, right? Getting killed. But for those of you who read comics and know Kamala Khan's abilities, no, it's not actually Mary Jane. We find out that it's Kamala Khan, right? So Miss Marvel gets killed at the end of this issue, but for no fucking reason. Why? They brought her into this comic for no reason, and then they ended up killing her in the last issue. It was terrible. I felt so bad for Miss Marvel fans. Now, full disclosure, I'm not a huge fan of the character. I don't dislike her. She's just not for me. But I enjoy her own comic when she's doing her own thing and her own stories. It works out. But they brought her into this. They did her completely fucking dirty. They killed her at the end, which was also dirty. I'm pretty sure what's going to happen is she's going to come back to life. Of course, nobody in comics that dies stays dead. So she'll come back, and I think what they're going to do is rework her power set so that her powers will mimic her power set from the TV show Miss Marvel and then the upcoming Marvels movie. And I hope that's not the case because I fucking hate her power set. I don't really like her as a character in the show. I don't think she fits into the world very well. I don't like what they did with her in the show as far as her attitude and how she uses her abilities. It's just not fun for me. It's not made for somebody like me, and I understand that, but it's just not fun. So I hope that that's not the case. That's the rumor going around in the comic book world right now. But Amazing Spider-Man issue 26 is absolute boo-boo shoes. Certified trash.
Boo-boo.
It's smelly. It's hurtful. It's wrong towards the characters. Peter is an idiot. Spider-Man's just not fun. They did Kamala dirty. Like, it's just not good. And for this to be the ending of this arc, first of all, the entire arc was trash. But to end it this way, like, it felt like an absolute slap in the face. So if you're an Amazing Spider-Man fan and you haven't read this arc, don't waste your fucking time. I read it so that you don't have to. ASM 26, trash. I can't express to you enough how annoyed I was reading this comic. and then getting to the end of the issue and being like, I can't believe Marvel even approved this shit to go out. It was absolute trash. But yeah, I just wanted to get on here and rant a little bit about a comic that I read that I absolutely hated. Amazing Spider-Man hasn't been good this entire arc. It dropped the ball. And like I said, guys, I'm a '90s Spider-Man fan. I read the fucking Clone Saga. It's long. It's winded. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But I'd rather read that again 3 more times than to read Amazing Spider-Man 6 one more time. It was absolute trash.
Well,
So, Sin, I know that you don't read comics a whole lot, but Amazing Spider-Man issue 26, you'll probably see it on social media here soon. Definitely on my social medias. But it was garbage, and I hated it, and I want it to be erased from existence.
certified boo boo shoes, eh?
Mm-hmm.
100% boo boo shoes. It sounds awful. It does not sound like a good time. You did not sell me
Man,
on.
I didn't really
to read
explain
it,
the
that's for
story.
sure.
Yeah, I didn't explain to you the full overarching story of why we're supposed to be reading this. If I gave you the super cliff notes, it's just the story starts and the readers, us, don't know why, but Peter and Mary Jane are on the outs. He's with somebody else. They have 2 children. Spider-Man isn't really the hero that we know and love. The entire superhero community in the Marvel Universe has shunned Spider-Man wholeheartedly, and we don't know why. So we read all the issues to see why nobody fucks with Spider-Man anymore. And all the answers we get to all the questions we have are unsatisfying. And the entire arc culminates with a death of the character that doesn't make any fucking sense. And it's just Marvel doing Marvel shit for the sake of Marvel shit. So it's not good. It's not fun. The art is not good. The story is absolute trash. And I don't know how they're going to recover from this because it made Spider-Man so fucking unlikable. And to make Spider-Man, Peter Parker Spider-Man, to make him unlikable is so hard to do. We all follow a stories plural, where he gets a black suit and becomes a fucking dick and we still love him. So it's hard to make him unlikable. But this story of Spider-Man, Peter was very much so unlikable. He wasn't fun to read. He wasn't a good character. And I just feel bad for everybody who was counting on this to be an arc that was something worth it.
Well, to cheer you up, by the time we're recording the next episode, I believe we'll have seen Mortal Kombat 1 gameplay.
Hell yeah, I can't wait.
Because I think
Absolutely
it comes out
can't
like literally a week or less than a week from the time of us recording. I think it'll be one of the starter things of Summer Game Fest. We won't have the Xbox conference, I think, till the 11th. But we'll have some stuff, I believe. I could be wrong. I don't really know the schedule very well.
All good. It's going to be better than the
right.
issue of comics I just read.
Do I?
It's going to be better than this issue of comics I just read.
Comic-Con.
No, this comic issue that I just read. It's going to be better than that, so it's all
Gotcha.
good.
Thought you were talking about Comic-Con. Comic-Con's coming up, right? Isn't it this month?
It's not this month, but it is coming up. It's
July?
every summer, so we got something to look forward to. I believe so. Actually, I'm going to double check that just to make sure, because that's something that I need to be looking into anyway.
I'm surprised you don't know that.
I will say, however, I'm not expecting Comic-Con to be the end-all be-all this year because so many companies do their own things nowadays. But yeah, it is in July. It's to answer your question, I know it's in July. I just didn't remember which week. But it's July 19th through July 23rd this year. So it's coming up on us real fast. We got another solid month. It is through your birthday. But like I said, I don't know the schedule necessarily for this one. I don't know who's supposed to be there. I don't know what companies are going to be there. So I don't think that this one's going to be the one that we need it to be.
You think Dee's going to be there?
We'll see. I'm just going to have to wait. You almost fucking got me.
Sick and still trying.
I do know that Chuck Norris is going to be there. Johnny Young Bosch is going to be there. Will Friedle is going to be there. He's the voice of Batman Beyond, and he played Eric in Boy Meets World. But I think James Marsden's going to be there this year. These are just people that I know for a fact that are going to be there from just looking it up a while ago. Who else? It was somebody else that I knew that was going to be there. There's a cosplayer that I actually really like that's going to be there. She goes by Mutant Clue is her name. So it's really cool to see that she's going to be there this year. And then there's another cosplayer that I like, and I think her name is Liaris Cross, I think is her name. I could be saying that wrong. And Miss Cross, if you are watching this and I said your name incorrectly, I'm sorry. And then Remy D. Remy D is another cosplayer, famous cosplayer. I know her from cosplaying Rogue from X-Men Evolution. And obviously Rogue from X-Men Evolution is my entire type. So I love her. So seeing her cosplay that character, I was like, yep, there we go. Yeah, those are just who I know is going to be there off the top of my head. But as far as like, what Marvel's going to bring, what DC's going to bring, I don't know. And I'm not expecting either one of them to bring anything because they have their own versions of Comic-Con that come out. You got DC, you got, what is it called? Dome that happens now every year. And then C2E2 for Disney. So we'll get a lot of Marvel stuff around C2E2. So like I said, I'm not expecting too many things to happen this year for Comic-Con.
All right. Well, that is going to take us to our last call question. That's right. It is time to
pass the whiskey.
That's right. Get your
whiskey.
I could use a whiskey right now. I can't lie. That would probably help some of my issues, or at least make me feel better about my issues, like all the drainage and stuff. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Christian, do you is the last call coming from you this weekend or this week?
Lab can absolutely come from me this week. And it's I think it's a simple question, but not everybody can answer this off, right off the top of their head. So I might be putting you on the spot and I apologize.
God.
But the question for me this week is this. What is the best sequel of all time?
Halloween 2.
You think Halloween 2 is the best sequel of all time?
I'm okay.
And I'm not talking like strictly horror. I mean,
no, you mean everything. I mean,
yeah.
God, dude. Now thinking about it, so you could put Halloween 2 would go in the conversation. Dark Knight goes in the conversation. Terminator 2 goes in the conversation. Some reason I'm drawing a blank on Aliens right now, so I'm not going to throw that in there, although it possibly might.
I think Aliens is definitely one of the best.
I'm drawing a
sequels of all
blank
time,
on it for some reason. I don't know why.
I wonder what happened there. Why are you blanking on it?
Because my head feels like I got 2 gigantic bowling balls bouncing around in it.
That makes a lot of sense.
Best sequel of all time. I mean, there's a lot of things you can argue.
True.
You know what I'm going to say is not the best sequel of all time? It's probably going to piss people off.
What's that?
Avatar 2. You know why I'm going to say that? Because I am going to go against, like, pretty much everybody. I'm not a big fan of Avatar. I don't know.
I mean,
it's long and it doesn't
really a
get
hot
me.
take for me.
Like, the missus was like, I love Avatar. And I was like, yeah, I get, like, why it was so popular, but it's not something I care to watch or go back and rewatch.
Mm-hmm.
And she started Avatar 2, and I was like, eh.
Did you finish it?
Hell no. I didn't even get, like, a quarter of the way through. I don't know if she finished it. I had no interest. I just didn't care.
That's fair. It's not really my cup of tea. I don't really care too much about it.
I mean,
I'd rather watch Fern Gully.
Fern Gully?
Yeah, it's the animated movie that's pretty much based off of.
I mean, I know what Fern Gully is. Just you throwing Fern Gully, I know where. Those are the ones that would pop up initially. You're going to say something that's probably going to make me mad.
I mean, no, I don't have like a hot take sequel I think is better than all the other sequels. I really enjoy, like, when I think of my favorite sequels of all time, Dark Knight's definitely one of the ones that
Dark Knight is such a strong movie in that series. It is definitely like the pinnacle of that trilogy.
Absolutely.
Because there's no way you could really top it with Ledger's performance, the way that movie played out. Like, it would be damn near impossible. Because I feel like Probably unpopular opinion, and you're probably going to really argue. I don't think that you're going to top the Joker in the Batman universe, a really, really good Joker in a Batman movie with any of the other villains. There's nobody that's going to, like, put me over, I feel like.
I mean, yeah, it'll be really hard to do. If they made the characters more so like their comic book counterparts, I think it's possible. I don't think Hollywood has the balls for that.
I mean, Rise was fine, but it wasn't Dark Knight. Dark Knight was so good, I don't even remember how many times I saw it in theaters. And I've watched that movie. That's something that if it plays now, I have no problem watching. That's a fantastic sequel. Terminator 2, I think, is a fantastic sequel. Halloween 2, fantastic sequel. Really, really good. Dude, that's...
I agree.
All right, so what else? You were going to say other stuff?
Another one that comes to my head is Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
That one's definitely better than the first one. Another one, if we're talking superheroes, Captain America, Winter Soldier, definitely better than all of the other ones, in my opinion. I love that one. Empire Strikes Back, another sequel that is fantastic.
True. Isn't that kind of like the thing?
But then
like usually the sequel
people argue, though.
In a trilogy,
people argue
that
that one doesn't work. Possibly. But people will argue with me on Empire because technically it's not a sequel because it was all planned out to begin with. But I like to call bullshit on those people. Evil Dead 2. Another one.
Those
are all the ones that come to.
Though.
Army of Darkness is actually my least favorite of all of them.
What? I love Army of Darkness.
Yeah. Hot take. Army of Darkness is my least favorite.
Love Army of Darkness. So many quotes. So many.
I mean, it's a quotable movie, but my hot take it's just not my favorite.
First you want to kill me, then you want to kiss me. Blow. Hey. It's so many great quotes. God, I love that movie.
Most people do. So when I tell people it's not my favorite, they usually don't know how to act.
I mean, any other sequels you have up there?
Let me think really quick before I say no. Thinking. I'm literally just running. Oh, X2, the second X-Men movie, definitely better than the first one and the third one. So X2 definitely on the list for me. I'm trying to think of movies that aren't like superhero action movies, but it's really hard because those are the movies that have sequels guaranteed, essentially. Let me think. Other than that, I can't say that there are any more movies that the sequels supersede the original, just because that typically doesn't happen unless it's in the superhero genre. So I think that's it for me, man. Like, when I think of any other movies, the first one's typically the best one. And nothing else comes to mind.
Yeah. Guardians, I can't say the second one's better than the first one.
Yeah, I think the first one is
by far the best to me.
Maybe Paddington 2. Paddington 2, I think, is one of the best sequels of all time.
What?
Paddington's not my cup of tea. It's not the kind of movies I like to watch. But Paddington 2, it's a fantastic film, bro. I can't lie to you. It's great.
Oh, my God. Okay. All right, with that note, now that Christian's gone off on a Paddington, thank you so much for listening to the sick version of Sippin With Sin, where I struggle with whatever in the hell is wrong with me. Yep, that's right. Appreciate you all listening. If you made it this far, thank you so much. Apologies again about the technical issues. But as always, we will see you guys next week. And if you'd like your question to be featured in the last call, then join the Gilded server, gilded.gg/Sinister pack. And the application is put from the pod. Or you can hit us up on social medias at Sippin With Sin, SIPPIN with Sin on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. DM us there with your last call question. Or hit us up on Gilded. Like I said, it's a great way to get your question featured on an episode. Speaking of which, episodes come out every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Central Time on all audio platforms. That's right, all audio platforms. 8 a.m. Central Time. Don't forget to rate 5 stars, subscribe, follow, and share it with a friend. Do all that good stuff and things. It helps us a ton. And the video version of the podcast comes out every Wednesday, 8 a.m. on my personal YouTube, youtube.com/IamSinister. Go give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe over there to see the video version so you can see our lovely faces. You can find me on my personal socials at IamSinisterTV on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me streaming on kick.com/IamSinister, over on twitch.tv/IamSinisterTV, on TikTok at IamSinisterTV, and Facebook.com/IamSinisterTV. Christian, where can the lovely folks find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram at Vin and Ink, all one word. You can also find me on TikTok at my name, Christian Vincent. And you can find me on my horror podcast as well on all the socials at Horrorverse Pod. That's where you guys can find me.
All right. And don't forget to drink G Fuel. That's right. Drink you some G Fuel. Use code Sinister to get at least 20% off your order. Do it because I said, and it's awesome, and it'll be good. It'll be good for you. Do it. Just do it. All right, but that's going to be it for this episode. You don't got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here. It's time for us to shut it down till next week. Christian, do your thing.
Thank you guys much for joining us for yet another episode of Sipping with Sin. Be sure to leave a 5-star review. Leave a review for us as well on all the social platforms. Let us know what you want to hear in the future. Let us know what you don't want to hear going forward. And we will always answer you guys when you hit us up on our personal socials as well. With that being said, guys, I'm going to leave you with 3 words to leave you with every week. You know those words, say them with me if you don't listen carefully. Those words are, don't get gutted.
See you guys next week.